Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive on WCPT 820.
Very pleased to welcome Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski from Illinois' 13th District to our program today. Congresswoman, you have been very busy. By the way, Happy New Year, first of all.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, too. It's great to be on your show.
I have been signed up for a while for the releases from your office, and you have been quite busy. Tell the audience about some of the things you've been working on.
Well, thank you, Joan. I, really appreciate that. We've actually, in my first term in office, which I just concluded, we had some real wins for the district I represent. For those that might not know, the 13th district is most of central and southern Illinois. So I represent communities like East St. Louis, my home, which is Springfield, Illinois, and then the University of Illinois. We won, and credit to the Biden administration for some of the really large transformational pieces of legislation they passed, like the infrastructure law. We just got our fourth competitive infrastructure grant. They call them RAISE grants for the community of Urbana to transform Florida Avenue, which has been a main thoroughfare in the community for so long, adding in bike lanes, upgrading the infrastructure. And these are the kind of really important infrastructure projects. This was, again, the fourth that we were able to just bring home this week, $10 million that really makes a difference in our communities, especially downstate. These are good-paying jobs, but this is also about public safety and economic development and creating more opportunity in downstate Illinois. So that was really exciting this week. And then we also partnered with both of our senators, Senator Durbin and Duckworth, to bring back about $89 million to the western side of my district. The Metro East, which is all of the communities on the other side of St. Louis, have regular flooding. And in some of these communities, some of the more impoverished, underserved communities in our state. And to get that $89 million of disaster recovery funds through the Biden administration is going to be a game changer for these folks that are dealing with flooding on a regular basis and getting them the assistance and the help that they so desperately need.
That's amazing. And, when you're out in the community, when you're talking to people, what would you say the top concern you hear is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talk a lot about it during the election. We've talked even more about it after November, but it really is still the economy. It really is that I used to work in the labor movement, and so, very familiar with the struggles of working people just trying to put food on their table. And I do think that the gulf between those struggling to just make ends meet on a daily basis and the super wealthy, top 1%, getting more affluent, we need to be focused on the middle class in this country and helping people that are struggling with things like the cost of childcare, investing in our public education, investing in our public schools, creating workforce development opportunities. I'm a really big believer, even though I have the honor of representing the University of Illinois and Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville, that a lot of people don't need or want the four-year career path, four-year college degree path. And so I'm working on opportunities in community colleges and union apprenticeship programs to get folks into good paying jobs.
That's wonderful. We talk to union folks all the time. Yeah. And it's like just in the last couple of years, it's like they finally feel that they're getting the respect. It used to be, everybody was like, you got to go to college, you got to go to college, you got to go to college. And they were like, you don't. And we have these really good paying jobs that you can do, and we'll pay you to learn these skills, and you'll retire with a pension. And it's like for so long we overlooked that.
I completely agree with you, Joan. I too am of the age where I remember it was you're going to college. But right now, people are looking for opportunities that don't necessarily require the four-year degree because it comes with a lot of student debt, which people are trying to avoid. We have a lot of good-paying union jobs in my district that are open right now that don't require a four-year degree. But if you went through a union apprenticeship program, the beauty of that, and actually my first State of the Union guest, we all get to bring bring one guest to the State of the Union. Mine was a member of the IBW, young African-American woman from Decatur, who was graduating from her IBW apprenticeship program with a six-figure salaried job, full-time, with no college debt. She was paid through the 5-year apprenticeship program that she graduated. She was paid and worked while she was in that program. Again, graduating with no debt and a good paying job at the end. I mean, that is the American dream. That's what I think people are really hungry for, more of those opportunities. Been very focused on that in Congress.
You know, those of us up around the northerly parts of Illinois, we think of central Illinois as red country, you know, the red voters. You are, do you sometimes feel like you're a Democrat surrounded by Republicans?
Oh, well, Joan, I literally am. I'm a little blue streak through a sea of red. I have 7 counties that I'm honored to represent in the 13th district. Each of those 7 counties I share with a member of the Freedom Caucus, to put it in some perspective. And it's a district that's certainly gone back and forth for the last several decades. And so, you know, again, when you're talking about the issues that matter, I think in communities in downstate Illinois, it's very important to show up and listen. I think as Democrats, that's something that in some of our communities we kind of have failed to do for a little while, or we come in with a prescription as to how to fix problems. And I think people just really want to be heard. I try to do a lot of that in my district. And then I try to really focus on the kitchen table issues. We were just talking about workforce development. That's not a Democratic or Republican issue. That's just what I call a common sense issue. It's just an issue of opportunity for everyone. And I think truly those are the kind of deliverables, common sense solutions that people in my district in downstate Illinois are looking for.
What do you think, if anything, is going to really be accomplished in the next 2 years? I mean, there's such partisan gridlock.
It's a good question. I mean, I think some of this is unknown because the Trump administration has not come into office yet. Obviously, that's upon us on January 20th. But what I do know as a House member is that the House Republicans have an even more narrow majority going into this next Congress. It is incumbent upon them to realize that we have to work together to get anything accomplished. Democrats and Republicans need to do that. Whether it's passing a farm bill, you know, I'm really proud to be on the House Agriculture Committee. House Republican leadership kicked the can down the road, just like our budget, several times last Congress, and we didn't get that done. When we talk about downstate Illinois and Illinois in general, agriculture is our number one economic driver. It's incredibly important for us to get a farm bill done. So I'm hoping that even with this narrow majority-minority status in the House, we can find the places where we can work together. I think the farm bill is just one of them. I think another is our budget. We have to get to getting a budget done, which, again, we've done a short-term spending. We did that right before the holidays to keep the government open. But we need to get to these things and work together to accomplish them.
What are you personally going to try to, maybe there's something that you've already sponsored that you hope will work its way through the session. What are your passion projects?
Yeah, I mean, I would say one of my passion projects is, you know, definitely building on some of the successes we've had in bringing back federal resources to the district. We got a designation of a tech hub. We're actually building out a new biomanufacturing and fermentation tech hub in Decatur with the University of Illinois. We were able to win a $51 million federal grant to kickstart that. I want to see that be successful. And so I want to work with Republicans and Democrats to continue to find opportunities to bring back American manufacturing to our communities in downstate Illinois. This biomanufacturing tech hub is one of those. I get a lot of questions, what the heck is biomanufacturing? But really we have the technology.
That's a good question. Explain it to me.
Yeah, very simply, you know, we grow a lot of corn and soybean in downstate Illinois, some of the most in the entire country. A lot of that, out of that comes agricultural waste. We are now, through technology developed in central and southern Illinois, able to repurpose that to make yoga pants, believe it or not. Yeah, this is a whole new industry. We can replace plastics. We can make tennis shoes. This is the kind of transformative types of technology and innovation that we need to be continuing to grow and build around. And it creates real opportunity in downstate Illinois, and it's for the betterment of the entire state.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And that's, I think, an argument that Democrats make that doesn't always resonate. Democrats really work to make people's lives better. And this whole disinformation and misinformation that somehow Donald Trump is going to bring down inflation and eggs aren't going to cost as much. And it just makes me so sad. And I don't know whether it's that we, need to communicate better or whether we need to, maybe fight fire with fire. I mean, people are always pointing out that there's so much more conservative media than there is Democratic or progressive media. We got to be better at these things going forward, Nikki.
Absolutely. We need to tell our story. And I think that we just, in a lot of ways in this last election, our story just didn't break through, which is exactly what you said, Joan. It's making a difference in people's lives. It's deliverables. It's job opportunities. It's getting a good education. It's tackling affordable childcare. It's making sure you get high-speed internet access to your home that's affordable. These are the kind of everyday issues that Democrats champion every day, and we have to keep working on telling our story of what we're doing to deliver.
Congresswoman, I know that you have to run. Thank you for sharing some of your time with us today. It is a pleasure to talk with you.
You too. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.